Welcome back. Welcome back to the adjuster checkup. Yes, my sign just failed. Don't worry about any of that in the background. We're going to get that together. I just got through mopping floors, but we're here. Hello. Welcome, everybody. It feels good to be back. It feels good to be back. Hey, everybody have a good when did I last see you? That was end of the fall when I saw you last when we wrapped up season 1. Hello. Hey everybody, I missed you. Hope you missed me. And we are going to get down to the nitty-gritty for season 2 of the Adjuster Checkup. We're going to get better with this. Forgive me if the picture quality may not be as good. My computer actually went on the fritz. I'm using an old laptop, but the show must go on, okay? All right. So, this particular episode, our very first episode of season 2, we're going to talk about how training firms are setting up new adjusters for a letdown. Mm, 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 mm. Boo. All right. And it's really bad. It's getting really really bad. I've been getting a lot of feedback actually for years. I'm not going to put any particular company on blast because technically the information that I have received is hearsay. It would be up to those adjusters to tell their own story about their experience with these different companies. Um, they may not feel comfortable to do that at this moment in time. All right. But I'm sure one day maybe we'll sit down, do an interview, and names can be named. All right. So for this episode here, we're going to talk about 3 points: training firms and their improper preparation of new adjusters, promoting lies, flat out promoting lies to new adjusters, and how does all of this hurt independent adjusters, the independent adjuster industry, and in particular, because if you haven't noticed, I'm a black woman and a lot of the feedback that I get are from black adjusters. So, how does this affect adjusters of color? All right. If you have any questions, any comments, any feedback along the way, please feel free to put them in the chat. I will do my best to keep up and make sure that I answer them, all right, before this is over. We try to keep this down to 30 minutes, so I'm gonna try to have this wrapped up by 8:30, as long as the chat doesn't take me beyond that. All right, so first on the list, improper preparation. Improper preparation. Training companies are not preparing our adjusters properly. They're setting false expectations, and they're leading people down a road of destruction. And this is really bad because a lot of people who jump into the adjusting field, especially if they're independent adjusters, they are putting their all into it. Most people are taking a chance. They're jumping out on faith. They're taking the last little bit of money that they have to make this thing happen. Okay. And so it's really terrible when they run into predators in the industry that could totally turn them away from this altogether. That one bad experience could be all that they need to turn away. And we do need adjusters over here. Our industry is in a talent gap crisis. So this is important to, if you're leading people, if you're training people, that it must be done right. I can't talk to those companies right now. They're going to do what they're going to do. They're trying to hit a lick and they're hitting it right on the backs of the people. So what I can do is warn those about the pitfalls. All right. So one, when you're going to the licensing class, I have heard that people are talking about the money. Oh, it's all this money you make, all this money you make. And the class concepts, the concept of adjusting is not really being taught. For instance, I had somebody come to a contents class not too long ago. And in the middle of class, when I started talking about how to apply depreciation with contents, they asked me what depreciation was. They should have learned that in their licensing, pre licensing class. Oh, yes. So bad. Um, they're not getting any after the class is over. That's not even the worst part. After the class is over, they're not getting any license application help. They are left to their own devices. I have had so many companies, and I'm not talking about little mom and pop training companies. I'm talking about big training companies that are very popular, hint, wink, that everybody has seen, that is highly advertised, that is held in high regard. You can guess it on your own. I have had people be trained by said training company, companies, plural, and have literally said, I don't know what to do next because all they're doing is training you and they're not taking you through the next steps. There may be a paragraph on a page somewhere that you can read and try to figure it out on your own as to how to go through the process for fingerprints and so forth. And I get it. State of Texas has, if you're doing Texas or any other state, Georgia, Florida, they have usually instructions online on their Department of Insurance website. But wouldn't it be nice if your training company, who you just paid X amount of $100 to, could provide that for you? Mm. So maybe before you sign up, ask if they will guide you or mentor you through the licensing process. They are also not giving you any advice on how to sign up for IA firms, what IA firms to target, so forth and so on. Yeah, that's not going to help just to have a certificate of completion, don't know how to get through your licensing application process, and you don't even have a list of firms that you can start going towards and applying for to get on their rosters. All right. Maybe we'll have an episode this season and we'll talk about and go down a list of firms. Maybe I'll tell you what I tell my people. All right. We'll think about it. You got to know that because that's where your bread and butter is made, right? You get on the deployment list, and then from there, you get an opportunity to get deployed. But even beyond them not telling them about what firms to apply for and to target, then they're not telling them how to go about approaching said firm once they're on the roster in order to get a deployment opportunity. Nor are they even telling them that, hey, some of these firms' application processes are long, some of them are short. Hang in there, encourage them, right? They're not getting that. Then we have the omittance of information, things that are just not being explained at all. For instance, they're not explaining to new adjusters that more training is needed. The licensing course is simply for you to learn and to know and to be able to apply the concepts, the basic concepts of insurance claim handling across all lines. After that, that's only what that state department of insurance wants them to know in order to pass the exam. But there is still training you need after that. If you're in property and casualty and you do not have any knowledge of construction, how a home or a building is made, building components, so forth and so on, you're going to need to learn that. All right. If you don't know the estimating program Exactimate, you're going to need to learn it. So you're going to have to take additional classes beyond your licensing class. A lot of people believe that they could just take a licensing class, sign up on a roster, they're going to get deployed. No, you're going to get put to the bottom of the pile. All right. They want to see something on that resume, something on your application as a new adjuster that tells them that you know something. All right. A lot of people are now getting turned on to adjusting because we got TikTok and all of that, making it seem real glamorous. But and people are signing up by the droves, and they're not getting any work. And then they bellyache on social media. There's no work. There's no work. Well, there is work. You just ain't getting it. All right. And you're not getting it because you're not properly prepared and you don't know what to do next. And you think all you had to do is go take a $400, $500 class, pass the test, get a certificate of completion, put your application in with your fingerprints, set up and apply for deployment with only one state license, no other training, and say, give me a job. That ain't gonna work like that. All right. So that's really bad. That's setting people up for the letdown. If you don't know, now you know you need more training. If you cannot afford more training, there are alternative ways that you can get yourself educated, get caught up on certain things that you need to know. We'll go into that in another episode. And I actually talked about it last season too, but we're going to talk about it again. Next. So they're not telling you how to continue to prepare. What do you do in your downtime in this time gap where you're in between waiting on that application approval to come back, or you're in between filling out all those different applications for the deployment departments and finally getting the thumbs up to say yes, you're on the roster, right? You can start calling deployment and wearing them out. They're not giving you any marching orders, anything, any goals that you need to set. No homework is being given, and you will and do and should have homework. It's not being given. All right. So you don't know what to do. So you're ill prepared. So then you're sitting on your hands. And then when you finally get a deployment opportunity, you panic because you don't know what to do because you didn't prepare yourself in the downtime. This is all about preparing yourself for when the opportunity will come, and it will come. But make sure that when it does come, you're ready for it, right? Anybody who wants to play professional basketball doesn't just put on gym shoes one day and go over to the we don't have a basketball team here in St. Louis, but whatever. Go over to the what's the Chicago Bulls. Go to the Bull, go to the Bulls game and try to get on the court and start playing. No, they have to practice. They've probably been practicing a really long time. They've probably been practicing since they were kids. It's just like that for this particular career path. You got to be prepared, but you're not being told to be prepared. They making it sound like it's easy. You got to learn a lot of information. If you don't know property, you don't know the components of structure, you don't know the components of a vehicle, you don't know the estimating program. Some of you don't even have computer skills. You don't even know what we mean when we say click, hold, drag, download this, upload that, drop that in a folder. If you don't have that, you need to know it, right? But you're not being told that. On top of all of that, you don't even know you need more training. You don't know what to get the more training in. You don't even know how to get through your license process. So you're struggling throughout the entire process unnecessarily, and that can turn people off because people have short attention spans, unfortunately, and people get discouraged easily, especially our people. All right. So this is all to the bad, to the BAD. Now, they should be telling you how to prepare, and they're not. Next, they're not explaining anything about additional state licenses. It's a lot of stuff you got to get. You got to get additional state licenses as well. So, yep, you need training on Xactimate. You need to know how to interpret the policy. You need to understand structure components. You need to know how the claim process works. You need to know how to talk to insureds, how to give good customer service, computer skills, and you got to get additional state licenses. If you're in a non licensed state like Missouri, you're probably going to go through a state like Texas, make that your designated home state. Okay. You're only good for Texas and all the non licensing states. The more state licenses you have, the more deployable you are, experience or not. All right. They're not even telling you, even with that, which licenses to target, how to budget out your money so that you can work on adding licenses to your portfolio little by little. You're getting none of that. Sorry, you should have went through TPAS. Anywho, shameless plug. Anywho, we're moving on. Let's talk about the lies. Let's talk about the what is it? Lies. The lies. There's a lot of them. My people. My people. My people. The quote, fake it till you make it, is killing you. You cannot, in the beginning of this, when you know nothing, take shortcuts. Let me repeat that for you. You cannot, in the beginning of this process of being a claims adjuster, specifically an independent claims adjuster, you cannot take shortcuts. You are going to have to go the long way around. And they're not telling you that. They're like, oh, just do this real quick because they want to promise you something because they want to encourage you to spend money that they're going to put in their pocket. They want to encourage you to sign up. I'm gonna tell you something. Somebody called me and asked me questions. Yes, I answer their questions, but I'm also very realistic. A lot of people want this one question asked answered. And the question is, okay, once I go through class, when am I gonna get a job? Boo. I'm gonna tell you something. This is not, and this is what your people should have told you when they trained you. This is not your average 9 to 5 job. You are a contractor. You are an independent contractor. You can get a W 2, but technically, you're not formally in the sense of what we do an employee. So, you getting a job will depend, and this is the answer I tell everybody every single time. I said, I can't tell you that. So, because there's a lot of X factors there, and the main one is you. How motivated are you? How organized are you? Are you going to stay on task? Because if you sit there and sit on your hands and expect to apply for 1 to 2 popular firms, you're going to be waiting a long time. If you're not doing additional training, if you're not getting your Xactimate, if you're not working on additional licensing, if you're not constantly on this, you're going to wait a very long time. If you are not a go getter, if you are, I'm gonna wait until something lands in my lap type of person, you're gonna wait a very long time. If you have anything holding you back, you ain't got no car, you your money is funny because there's certain things you may need. You're gonna need a laptop. If you don't have that right now, you gotta get it. I got people who have come to class, but they ain't got no car. Even if you do daily claims, you still got to go out there. Even if you do work from home, and that's nothing. Oh god, the work from home. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna get a little. I got 13 minutes. I don't want to digress too bad. Point: you cannot fake it till you make it. Let me just say that. Period. You're gonna have to go the long way around. You're gonna have to do what I just spoke about earlier. You got to get the training. You got to get the state licenses. You gotta it's a skill. You have to, it's a muscle. You have to exercise it. It's a skill that you're going to have to work at to perfect. And nothing will ever be perfect. I have messed up a many a claims. I have overpaid and underpaid a many a claims, but I have learned from each experience and it has made me better as a result. Okay. That's not what they're looking for. They're not looking for perfection. They're not looking for you to get everything right. And you're not going to have all the answers before you get your very first claim. There are too many claim scenarios out there based on different states, different policies, different neighborhoods, different demographics, different regions. It's two different home types and car types. All you need is the foundation. Quit being scary and just go at it, but do not take shortcuts. Another thing they do, they're encouraging shortcuts that don't work, such as, and this is the worst thing I ever heard. People are asking certain training companies, or that certain training companies are promoting to give people, to provide people with adjuster resumes. People are sending in their actual real resumes, and what they're getting back is fakes, fake adjuster resumes with fake experiences that you never had. You can go ahead and kiss your little adjuster career if you accept that and send that in to a firm. Kiss your career goodbye. You might get that first or second deployment opportunity, but guess what? The people who are your file examiners and your team leads were not stupid. And I have been one, I have been all of those things. I can tell if you lied on your resume. I can tell by your work product. I can tell by the way that you talk. I can tell by the way that you put your estimate together, if you're able to put it together at all. I can tell by the questions that you answer. You just lied. And we're in an industry where integrity is everything. You literally have people's personal information at your disposal, and you gonna lie about experience instead of going the long way around. You just ruined your career. And so if you look at that on a mass scale, this is how all of this hurts the entire industry. It hurts you as an individual adjuster, and it definitely hurts adjusters of color. Because what I've heard is all this stuff that I'm talking about is coming from people who got feedback for the most part. I talked about some big firms, that very, very popular training company, but a lot of these other scenarios I've been hearing about, fake resumes and things like that, are coming from training companies that are black owned and that are bringing in black and brown people. This is what it does to the bigger picture. One, it makes us look bad as a people. There is already so much scrutiny that we are under. They say we are lazy. They say we don't want to work hard. We know it ain't true, but that's what they say. That's the propaganda that is out there. And it has been out there for a very, very long time, for decades. All right. And then you go and prove them right. Thanks for that. So then the next person who has come up behind you may not even get a daggone opportunity. And I need you all to understand that this is bigger than you. This is not about you at all. And I don't know why you thought it was. It's about you getting your foot in the door so you can wedge the door wider for the person who's coming behind you. This has been a white, male dominated industry for centuries. And it's only things like diversity, equity, and inclusion incentives and affirmative action incentives that it got your little self up in here and my little self up in here. So when you get in, prove yourself worthy. And it ain't for to impress somebody else. Do you not have your own level of personal integrity? Do you not have your own bar, your own goal that you try to reach? Hmm? All right. This also decreases future opportunities, not just for you, but for people of color. If they end up getting hundreds of adjusters with l- resumes that just flat out lied and told significant untruths, and they all black and brown, what would you do if you were the owner or you were the manager over that department? You would be hesitant, wouldn't you? Because now it looks like it's a trend. And it looks like the trend is coming from a particular type of people. This also justifies, and this is something that we're really battling right now. This justifies paying adjusters less money for the work. Everything in our world is going up. Food is higher, gas is higher, clothes are higher, rent, mortgage, homes are higher. Tell me why adjuster pay has either not moved in probably about 50, 60 years. It really has not changed. And to make things worse, we're starting to get less because the carriers are looking at it like the IA firms, you're sending us a bunch of inexperienced people. Why pay them 40, $50 an hour when they're really only worth because of their work product, their knowledge, and the quality of that person is only about 20, 25, 30 maybe an hour. Yeah. Thanks, you all. Appreciate it. Love you. Glad that everybody's just looking out for themselves and not understanding the bigger pictures. And let me tell you something, for anybody who has a training firm who's listening, if you feel a kind of certain way, good. If you're upset, I love it. Please get mad at yourself. Don't get mad at me for telling the truth. I set my people up right. I don't know what you're doing over there. But the thing is that if you keep doing that, how long is your company going to last when you're training hundreds of people who never get deployed or who only get deployed for one or two storms? You don't think that ain't going to go back into the community? They're not going to be so gung ho to even try to be an adjuster or get trained or get licensed, let alone go through you. So get your lick now because it's not going to last. Do you want longevity or don't you? And if you don't, then be honest. Tell them it's a lick. Tell them I'm just here to give you this. I ain't gonna give you nothing else. Tell them what it is up front before you take their money and deceive them. I know it sounded harsh. I told you I was getting real on season two. We ain't got time for this cutesy stuff. We don't have time for the cute stuff. All right. Because at the end of the day, people are suffering, not just insureds waiting for a good quality adjuster to do their claim. We got claims going to court in litigation unnecessarily because the adjuster is not properly trained. Anybody who personally calls me and I talk about their and they talk to me about their claim scenario, I can tell just by them telling me what happened. I say your adjuster is inexperienced and they weren't trained properly because that information they just gave you is untrue or they shouldn't have said that like that. No good customer service. Like, and that's why people think insurance is terrible because they got people like y'all little, they have irresponsible people behind the wheel. I'm trying not to snap. I'm wrong. I'm trying not to cuss. I'm very passionate about what I do. I actually care. I actually really care. I not only care about the insurance, I care about the people that I train. I care about their success. If they could get on the line, they would tell you. Sometimes Charlene call and I don't know, I ain't got no progress report for because I know I ain't did what she told me to do. I don't answer the phone. Or yeah, Charlene got me hooked up with this. Charlene told me that. Or Deborah told me this. Deborah told me that. And because they told me this and that, now this and this and that. I've got people who usually go out on their very first storm and ends up being the cleanup people. You tell me about the difference in quality. Because for me, TPAS is not successful if the adjusters who come through TPAS are not successful. We got 3 minutes left, really two. I wrap. I like it. I'm happy with episode one of season two. Let's get into it. Um, feel free to again after this video is over. Feel free to hit the playback. Um, if you like to make any comments, if you'd like to ask any questions, please feel free to do so. We'll be back for episode two of season two next Wednesday. That'll be a week from now. I think that's going to be on the 20th. That's going to be a little hinky because I'm actually going to be at PLRB, their claims conference and insurance services expo. I am teaching as a presenter, and I think there's going to be an after party. I'm going to be in at about 8 o'clock on Tuesday, so we'll figure it out. Maybe we'll go live from the party, and we'll take a little break from the me lecturing you monotony, and you can see the PLRB experience, which I do advise every single adjuster put some money aside to come to PLRB. Not only will you be able to be in front of tons of TPA firms, independent adjusting firms, and I have seen adjusters literally get deployments and get jobs right on the exhibitor floor. You'll also be able to attend courses, get your required CEs. I think with all the courses that they have over the 3 days, you can dag on there, get all of your CE requirements done in that one conference. They even have the flood certification in person course during that conference, as well as the California earthquake certification during that conference. Then there is an exhibitor floor that is full of hundreds. I feel like it's hundreds. It's probably not the hundreds, but at least 100 different vendors. And those vendors are anybody and everybody who services the insurance industry, either as a third party administrator, an independent adjusting firm, a mitigation company, attorneys, litigators, appraisers, the listen, and it's extensive. And then everybody, every single booth has something extravagant to it, or they're giving away gifts or prizes. Last year when I went, I had the pleasure of meeting Mike Tyson face to face thanks to Cross Country Claims booth. I met Ric Flair. Woo! Okay. I wooed Ric Flair and he wooed me back. We're woo friends now. Um, and Roy Jones Jr. So I met all of them, took pictures with them because Cross Country Claims, yeah. Then there's after parties that take place. Um, Actually, Wednesday night I might be chilling because I have to fly out. So we'll see. I might just walk around Wednesday night. Hopefully, they won't, all the exhibitors won't have broken down the complete exhibitor floor by then, but I don't know. I might go live um, in the daytime before then because I think once everything is over on Wednesday, we do the last class wraps up at 5. Usually, all the exhibitor floors just start, they start putting everything up, putting everything, everybody goes back to their respective corners of the world. Um, so, yeah, come on out to PLRB. If you can get a ticket, it's not too late. Come out to Boston. I'll see you there. All right. That's all that I have for you all for tonight. I'm at the 31-minute mark now because of that PLRB promotion. And no, they are not paying me for that. But if you're a sponsor, if you'd like to be a sponsor here on TPAS TV, feel free to reach out to us. Send us an email at info@tpas.llc. If you're a aspiring adjuster, you want some more training, we have several training courses available for you. If you're already licensed, you can come and get certified for personal property contents claim handling. We have the only course in the industry for that. We also have a policy interpretation course. We have a claims adjuster 101 course where we go over building structure, how to identify damage, how to measure, how to diagram. And we also have an estimating course as well. And I'm in the process of making a few others. So feel free to check us out at tpas.llc on our website. If you want to become a licensed adjuster, we do have for those who are in non licensing states, we do have a adjuster licensing course. So feel free to check that out. I think there's a map on the website under the licensing course, which shows which states do and don't require an independent adjuster's license. So that course that we offer is good for Texas as well as for any non licensing state. Also, if you're in a licensing state outside of Texas, you can go to our partnership website with webce.com. And that site is no, www.webce.com/TPAS, the company initials. If you go to that site, you can set yourself up with with a free profile, and you can pick your state that you live in, sign up for a pre-licensing self-study, self-guided course, and you'll receive a 10% discount. If you're an existing adjuster and you need CEs, you can go to that same website, www.webce.com/TPAS, set up a free profile, go to your licensing state, and you can select, excuse me, first you have to say whether it's a pre licensing or a continuing education course you're looking for. Then go to your state, then select the CE package or individual CE course that you would like and receive a 10% discount. And all of those courses on WebCE are self guided, all right, self study. So that's all that I have for you all. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for your support. And we will see you next week. All right, y'all. Holla back. And I'll get this background, child, better. Yay. All right. Signing off, everybody. Have a good night. Bye.